Hi, you dialed in to Tom and Dan. To hear a review of Black Rain, bless fuck.
Bless fuck.
Bless fuck.
So anyway, Black Rain. This is a film that I wanted to see because I was looking at Ridley Scott's back catalogue.
Yeah.
And I thought I'd seen pretty much everything from Alien onwards. But no, it turns out I haven't, or hadn't. And it's a film from 1989 which I suggested we both watch and have a little chat about.
It is, yeah. I was going to say, I don't know why my eyes lit up and I was like, yeah, 1989, I've got that, yeah. That's confirmed.
First point down.
Boom. And it was it had 2 Oscar nominations. That's it.
Did it really?
It did. Yeah.
Wow.
So I only mention that because it is Oscars. Well, the Oscars were last night.
Yeah, the Oscar. Oh, and Gary Oldman won, didn't he?
Well, he did, yeah. Which I wanted to bring up because I love that guy though. I think he's.
I like Gary Oldman for everything he's done, but that.
No, to be fair, I haven't actually seen that. But it's basically about time. He was due an Oscar.
It is one of them. It's like Leonardo DiCaprio in The Revenant. He's not good in The Revenant.
I don't think he's good in anything, but that's my opinion.
Well, no. Well, he's one of them. He's a bit like a Tom Cruise, where it's Tom Cruise again. He's playing Tom Cruise.
For me, I think that his main body of the work that was, let's say, prior 2017 or whatever it was, like it wasn't up until Django or whatever I started giving him some serious thought as an actor, because before that, it's like you say, it's like the early. The young actor, he just gets put in everything for being kind of attractive, or the love interest, or the big fuzzy fat.
Well, it was Romeo and Juliet, wasn't it? That was the first big one he did, and then Titanic. And then he was in like The Beach and stuff like that. Oh yeah,
things that I think would have been really good films had they put someone else in them.
Well, it was originally meant to be Ewan McGregor in The Beach.
Yeah,
but they wanted a more Hollywood known star.
Yeah, exactly.
And apparently,
and you get what you get.
Sorry, I have to comment on that. A poster has just flopped off the ceiling, but it hasn't released itself with the ceiling.
But revealing the other side of the poster,
which is a woman's arse.
But what is on the side that I was displaying for you so graciously?
It's pies.
It's pies. It's a couple of pasties, isn't it?
It's pasties, yeah.
I think I got that poster when
that is the best reversible poster I think I've ever seen.
I know.
Mum's coming. Put the pies up.
It's
God, he loves those pies.
Yeah. Basically, I got that when we went on. I went on a haven holiday in Caravan. With mates, for weekend, and someone had bought, as you can see, an issue of Front.
I don't even remember that magazine.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. Which is a lads' mag, innit, kind of thing. Yeah. But that happened to be in it, and as much as I'm partial to the bottom on there, for some reason, for me, the poster of pies is so crap. I love the.
It is terrible.
I love the irony more than the pornography.
If you've ever been to a kebab house in Spain, it looks like one of the menus that they have on the wall, where everything's super deformed and not the right ratio.
Like they don't look appetising.
No.
Well, I mean, that's.
It's.
Yeah, we can take that down because I'm just going to be staring.
I don't mind, but.
Well, no.
The angle of it, and she's staring right at me.
Yeah, it's the eyes track you.
Yeah, it's fine though because it's at just an angle that I'm not. It's not directly my eye line.
But no, from your eye line, it's actually the brown eye that's tracking you right now.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And that's fine to have in the periphery, but I might just.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Just put it back. Oh, look at the filling on that. You got a pork pie.
I'm more partial to the look of the onion and potato myself.
The onion potato looks nice. I like the steak. Look at the steak. Look at
good steak.
That's filled. No. I don't think the pork pie belongs because the rest are pasties.
And you know what else is quite nice? I don't think the filling is photoshopped, which most foods you'll find they photoshop the filling into the pastry.
Squidged it in or whatever.
Yeah.
No, oh God, I'm hungry now. Right, well, I'm having some dinner after this.
I like that pie's out of focus. Maybe we'll put up. No, we can't even put a picture on audio.
No, you can't do an audio picture.
Maybe we should stop talking about the pie.
Yeah, stop talking about the thing we can't really discuss.
Yeah.
People know what pies are.
Yeah. And bottoms. Picture those two things, and that's what's derailed.
That's what's derailed. But I bet you what people aren't too familiar with. That's the 1987 film Black Rain.
They probably won't be familiar with that because it came out in 1989.
Ah. Well, that 9 looks like a 7 on my...
Well, we're in good hands because I got the correct notes.
Yeah, good. But I'm sure it was, it was made, so I'm sure of that.
Definitely was, because we watched it. You watched it this morning and I watched it last night.
Yep. Fresh off the bat.
And you hadn't seen it before, no?
No, that's the first time I've ever seen it.
I hadn't even heard of it until randomly IMDbing Ridley Scott's name.
No. Well, that's a good call though, because I like to watch something I've not watched before, which can be a bit hard these days because most of the things worth watching are, I've seen a million times.
Especially something that isn't brand new.
Yeah.
Because I pretty much know every single thing about all the new films that are coming out because they show you everything and they
you don't need to
tell
watch
you everything.
Yeah, the trailer is the film. You don't need to see it.
I mean, saying that, I did watch the trailer for this film before watching it, and the whole film was in it pretty much.
Well, yeah.
But even still, well. We'll find out if it's worth a watch.
Oh yeah. Well, I enjoyed it. Unfortunately, the last film we watched and talked about, I felt like I really had to sit through that and get to the end because we had to talk about it.
Yeah.
Whereas with this one, I watched the film. I made some notes. I watched the film and had a good time.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
The first thing that struck me was just how nice it looked.
Yeah, I mean,
like visually shot, it was brilliant. Everything was on location.
Mm-hmm. Like the smallest establishing shots had the best detail in there. They looked gorgeous. Cinematography was spot on. It was fantastic.
Everything looked incredibly organic. Like so many scenes shot in the middle of traffic, and I thought they just wouldn't bother now. They put in CGI cars, or they're not going to close a road. And it looked like they didn't close any roads. It was like, quick, get the cameras and just start filming Michael Douglas before he gets run over.
Yeah, I'm sure. I
think I counted about 3 times where it looked like he's going to get mowed down.
Yeah, it was a bit close, but that's the whole 80s kind of thing, isn't it? Everything's going to be bustling traffic and steam vents and neon lights and all that.
That's one of Ridley Scott's traits as well. He loves having things going on in scenes.
Yeah,
and there was a lot of scenes of little beepy noises and mechanical things moving, and of course there was a lot of steam. There's always steam, and everyone smokes all the time.
Of course.
But I quite like that in a movie.
Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with it, apart from the fact that it's advertising smoking, and just the fact that you said it has made me look at my cigarettes now and go, "Damn it, Tom, why did you say that?"
Well, you say that because I was looking at his mullet thinking, I wish I could grow some more hair. It is one of them hair envy movies.
Any 80s.
Well, for me anyway.
Yeah, it's usually a wig. Just say that at least then, and then you feel a bit better about yourself.
I will never get a wig that looks as good as Michael Douglas's mullet.
No, the one you wore for Steel Panther was pretty good though.
That was a good wig.
Although you look more like Axl Rose than anything.
Yeah, and a little bit like Annika Rice.
Annika Rice. Oh yeah, I was a bit conflicted because both you and Matthew were wearing the same wig, and I was out with 2 redheads. And I was like, you know what? I'm going back.
You had a good night.
I had a great night.
Yeah. So they set up the plot, and I believe this line was actually spoken, well, not in so many words, but he's a down on his luck cop who doesn't play by his own rules, which is the most cliche thing I've ever heard.
I don't play by my own rules.
But it is, them words are spoken in a different way.
They roundabout spell that out straight for you. And again, it's the intro and the whole, him coming through on a bike through the traffic, no helmet, sunglasses.
He's a loner
at night, like with a fag on. Like he's obviously a bad boy, and it's the whole point of you're not told he's a cop until a little bit after that. So it's like, oh, this guy's a rough rider, and he gets in the street race, doesn't he? He gets in a bike race.
Yeah, he has a little bet with a guy
that
he can beat him on a race to the end of the pier.
On his scooter,
yeah,
and he does. Yeah,
it was a good scene.
Yeah, it was all right. And again, like I say, a brief appearance of Luis Guzman, little known actor who I love, and his little bit parts and everything. But yeah, it sets you up as this. Yeah, he's the badass kind of John McClane, whatever,
That's
renegade.
It, yeah.
But then goes, oh yeah, he's a cop.
He's the cop. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And I think it actually, that's what it was. It was a voicemail, wasn't it? He comes. That's what it is. He gets back in from his race or whatever it is, and he goes and presses the answer phone.
That's it. Yeah.
And the voicemail is literally, oh God, what's his name? Nick, we need. This is your divorce attorney. We need to talk to you, and also your child payments are and your mortgage is due, and that cancer screening came. Like everything is in there. It's proper. Like it
sets up his character easily.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of exposition, but it's not. It just gets it out of the way quickly. It's like, okay, we know who he is now.
Yeah, it's something that is lacking from other films.
Yeah.
Is that it's nice that they sort of got to the goddamn point in it, because a lot of the films you can watch now, you can get halfway through and go, oh, I thought he was. Oh, I didn't even know that character was that guy. Like, what? Why didn't they just tell you? You know.
Yeah.
And sometimes they say, oh, it's to make it a plot point. Or, no.
Or they do it the opposite way around, where they have to explain everything multiple times.
Far too in detail.
Yeah.
Keep saying the same phrase over. Don't you know this guy's divorced?
So the fact that he has a divorce, he has payments he's got to make.
Mm-hmm.
It's only there mentioned once or twice, just to set up the fact that he has these needs that he's not meeting.
I mean, I think it's only addressed again once to kind of paint his character in a deflammatory light. I would say. Because that bit's coming. Well, that's the next bit anyway, isn't it? Basically, as soon as they've done that, he goes to this meeting with the other guys, because it's not a divorce or whatever. He gets accused of embezzlement, doesn't he?
Yeah, of stealing money.
That's it, from the case that they literally just wrap up as
which you don't see in another film. They would show you that and show you what the outcome would be, but here it's just implied.
Yeah,
and I like that as well.
It's kind of like a good job on that case we just did, buddy.
Yeah. There's no prelude showing you what act he may or may not have done.
No,
it's just something that we're picking up in the middle of a story.
Well, was it for the main bad guy? Was it for Sato or Sato? Potato. That was one of my points.
I couldn't tell if there was a joke in the film where he keeps calling him Sado, or if that was just me finding that funny.
But that's one of my points about the film, is that they made that a thing throughout. That was kind of like a running reference. Is that he kept going, Sato, no, Sato.
Yeah.
And they did it with a couple of people, they kept going, I don't care what his name is, kind of thing, in that kind of 80s brash racism kind of I don't need to speak your language, buddy.
Yeah, the whole time I was watching, I was thinking, is there going to be a point where he says a racial slur?
Yeah, luckily no. I was quite happy about that, because some 80s films, you can be really up for it, and then they drop a bomb, and you're like, oh.
They go all Clint Eastwood in Gran Torino.
Ooh.
I'm glad I thought of that movie now, because that was going to hurt my brain if I didn't.
Yeah. Good movie. But yeah, he gets accused of the embezzlement charges, and obviously says he's not going to do it. So again, that they bring in that whole, well, we know you're going through a divorce, so you need money, and he's adamant that he had nothing to do with it.
So I think after this scene, we see there's a shot of him where he goes to see his family. Or he's dropping one child off and he's bringing another back on his bike.
I never understood that. Yeah. Did he have two children? Was one his mate? I don't know.
Maybe his wife had remarried, and she'd had one, and either way, he was taking one child away in the rain on the back of a motorbike.
Yeah.
But there was one bit that really made me laugh, where the kid had got in trouble he got in trouble at school for insulting another child or something like that.
Okay.
And he goes, "What did you call him?" He goes, "An ugly goose."
You ugly goose.
You ugly goose.
You silly goose.
Which
oh my god. Oh, that's great.
How is that even I suppose it is an insult. I mean, that is.
Well, geese aren't particularly attractive.
Especially not an ugly goose.
But an ugly goose. Yeah.
But I mean, in today's world, he'd be called a lot worse than an ugly goose.
That's
Like, what did you do? I stabbed him. Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
You're a stabby goose.
But what I love, again, what you say about that bit, he picks the kid up. The next scene from that, he picks the kid up, and then you see him going down the street, and there's no kid on the back of the bike.
No, there's no kid on the bike.
But there's no connection to say this is a different scene. It's just the bike's going, the kid's on the back. The next scene, there's no kid. You're like, you lost the kid.
Well, maybe that's a subplot, that's a B plot where the kid got.
I think he
fell off.
He got a bit too dark. And
he's in the local hospital.
Yeah.
But I think at this point we get introduced to Andy Garcia's character.
No, I think he's in it a little bit before.
Isn't no? Because he's coming down the road and he waves. He's got his overcoat and he waves him down like a ball.
This is when he does it. Yeah.
And I thought that was really good. That was for me was one of them scenes where I say it was shot in the street in the middle of everything going on.
Yeah,
and it seemed really organic.
I think it will have been staged to a point because obviously they'll have to have blocked off with some certain cars.
Yeah, I imagine so. But
and the fact it was outside of a police station, nothing to go, hey guys, do you mind if we just block the drive for 10 minutes? But yeah, it was nice because, again, it was that instant, it set up their friendship in about 2 seconds.
Yeah, and you knew what kind of guy Andy Garcia was.
Yeah.
He comes out, he's the pretty boy, he's the cocky lad.
Yeah.
He's the young, what do you call it, a rookie.
Yeah, well, he comments straight away, where'd you buy this fancy suit? Like, hey, I gotta look nice, babe. And again, 80s, every other word from Andy Garcia in that scene was babe or baby.
Oh, really?
Don't worry about it, babe, baby, get in the car, baby. Like, oh my God.
I think I just became a bit deaf to that after a while.
Yeah. But again, luckily, that subsided. And after a few scenes, once they'd set up the fact that he was a groovy, hip kind of guy,
Yeah.
He stopped saying babe quite as much after
Yeah,
that.
he's the opposite to what Michael Douglas's character Nick is.
That's it. And that's it. So after they get introduced, that's when he's on his way to the hearing, isn't it? Because he starts saying to him, "You've got to wear the suit when you go there. You've got
bring a tie today.
Put your
that's
best
what
foot
he says,
forward."
Yeah.
He's like, "Get yourself ready." Yeah, because then they must go to that hearing or arraignment or wherever it is.
That's right. And then he needs a drink afterwards, and they go to the restaurant. And that's where the restaurant. That's where the plot kind of sets up properly.
It sets up properly, but I still don't understand how it was obvious to me that they were saying that they'd gone to a bar that was an obvious mafia hangout. It seemed to set that. I mean, whether it was just the style of the place, it's the thing you always see in the Goodfellas.
Yeah.
When they're in the booth eating and someone comes in and goes blah, 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 blah.
If there wasn't a reason for them being there, it was awfully convenient that they happened to be in there at the point that.
I think it was inferred that maybe this is just me. I thought it was inferred that Andy Garcia's character had some kind of an in or had some kind of a.
He had a reason for wanting to go there.
Yeah, or either that or it was his suggestion. I don't know. But yeah, they're having a succulent meal of beer, and then I believe what is it? Is
it Yakuza? I don't know. Well, it's kind of. It's not direct Yakuza.
They're never affiliated.
No.
They're never directly. Yeah.
The Japanese mafia.
Some branch.
And they come in brilliant 80s attire. They've got the sunglasses, the collars up, the big hair, and they've got to have an Uzi.
Did one of them have a toothpick? Or a cigarette?
Might have a toothpick or a cigarette, something like that.
Someone had to have.
Yeah. So they bust in. I think it's just one guy, one Uzi. Which my initial thought was, there's two policemen there with guns.
But that's why it made it clear that it was a mafia place to me, because everyone comes in and then he comes in with the gun. And then the guy that sat at the table where he's gonna be pointing the gun is like, whoa, forget about it. Kind of like everyone calm down. So obviously he was like,
it's a plot point we should have really written down.
But there was no. But that's what I'm saying. I've got that down. What I'm saying is it was never expressly said. That he's here because he's friends with Jimmy the Spade or whatever. It was just
Jimmy. Is that his actual name in the credits?
Tommy the Shovel. I don't know. It's just a whole toolbox
Larry the
full
Hat.
of mafia guys. The toolbox gang. See, nothing to see here. Sorry.
I'm going to pull a Uzi now.
But yeah, it's never expressly stated that they're there for these conditions. But it is clear that the guys that he busts in on, they're having a shady meeting, a dinner
There's
meeting.
someone that they want to. They want some dirt on down the line.
Yeah.
But all that gets interrupted when we are introduced to our main antagonist.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Sato? Sado. Who comes in and steals a tiny little box.
Tiny little box out the pocket of the man eating his dinner. Yeah.
It's just not on, is it?
I quite like the way he did that though.
Yeah.
There's something about that movie comes up and he's got the whole dominant posture. He's got his hands on the back of his shoulders, kind of thing. And then he just sort of pulls his jacket open. He's like, "Whoa!" and just whips it out what's this little brick?
And he does a little shake of it, I don't know what's inside.
But there's something in there.
There's something in there that we all
demonstrated audibly.
Yeah,
so
it does. Yeah, I was like, sounds like a dice.
Brilliant. This film has it all. I know what's going on most of the time.
And then there was a part in the as soon as the gangsters leave.
Yeah.
Michael Douglas and can you remember what Andy Garcia's character's name is?
Charlie.
Yeah. So Nick and Charlie, they run out. They shout police. They run after.
Start shooting.
Well, that's it. The guy with the Uzi comes back in, or he turns around and blasts up the place.
Yeah.
Which I think that was a bad move on That's bad detective work.
Well, yeah.
Because that's a lot of innocent lives they could have.
I don't know about that. I think the point where Sato or Sato tomato gets the parkage gets the parkage from the man's jar cut. He stabs some other guy. He's just like nah. And stabs him.
And they just watch.
No, yeah, and then they just watch, and then they also just watch as he slits the other guy's throat.
That is true.
Yeah. So you've got the two cops who are just like, okay, wait, let's see
how this pans out. There's two cops. There's one guy with a knife, one guy with an Uzi.
Yeah.
So
it's clearly a mafia joint.
Yeah. I mean, presumably the mafia that they're attacking have got weapons as well.
But that's why I'm like, it's definitely a mafia joint, because the guy who sat at the table with these Japanese gentlemen that get murdered right in front of him is always like, whoa, don't, everybody chill, no one do any, kind of thing. So to me that was like him saying, yeah, I understand you've got your grievances with these gentlemen, but I'm whatever, just get out of my place, I'm not gonna say shit, sort of thing.
But you would have thought as soon as things kicked off,
then the whole
place would have.
But no, basically, yeah, that guy comes back in, starts spraying everyone, and that's the point where Michael Douglas starts charging out and chases him down the road.
I think he sends Charlie off to get the police.
Yeah, he's like, go get back up.
And that led to another really good scene where they're running through a slaughterhouse, which again is a location that didn't need to be there.
No, but it did because it's an 80s film.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, this is.
You've got to have hanging cows if it's an 80s film.
Yeah, it's in every. Oh, it's not even just that. I mean, it's any chase scene in any action film, isn't it? You've got to go through the freezer.
Yeah.
And
there's got to be a box of chickens to push over.
Exactly, because that's where you get 90% of your atmosphere is because you can go. Oh, we can put smoke in it because you know it's like the cold air.
But when I was watching that scene, I couldn't tell if it was a scene they'd set up or it was actually an on-location slaughterhouse because it looked pretty realistic. There was bags of blood put around the things. I don't know.
I mean, it's not too hard to. I mean, especially for something like that, you could just order some actual pigs.
I suppose you could do. Yeah.
Hollywood isn't gonna, because then they can sell that shit.
I guess I have it in my head that this film probably didn't have a lot of budget, but it probably did.
Yeah.
I mean, Ridley Scott was pretty well established by the late 80s.
Yes.
I mean, I could have probably found out how much budget he had off some sort of movie website, but
you can put statistics in afterwards. No one really gives a shit how much.
Maybe we could put in a fact-checking bit. We'll put that in now.
Black Rain had a budget of $14 million.
That was an interesting number, wasn't it? The amount it was.
It is. I mean, it's crazy that it had either that much or that little a budget. Really.
I know, or that exact amount you'd expect.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
mind blown.
Yeah, incredibly. So after that, then, so what? We've got the chase in the meat locker as usual.
Yeah.
And he gets him, doesn't he?
He does. Yeah.
I think there's a little scuffle.
There's a scuffle. There's fisticuffs are thrown.
Yeah.
I don't remember how, because Michael Douglas has two guns at this point. He has two little revolvers.
Yeah.
I think he must get punched and drop them both, maybe, or he's run out of bullets. But yeah, they end up having a bit of a fist fight.
He's having a bad time of it, isn't he? Yeah. And he loses everything basically, but he manages to get Sato Sato in the end and arrest him up like proper and stuff. But and then what is it? Charlie turns up with the backup and they get him. You know, they chuck him in the back.
And then they go on a on-location work outing, and they have to fly to Japan, take him back to the Japanese police. Which I don't know if that.
I like that. A work outing. Yeah.
Work outings are one of the perks. You know, all expenses paid.
Yeah.
But one of the things I loved on that scene on the plane was the big old 80s headphones, the earphones that he's wearing. It looks like a what do you call it with the heart?
A stethoscope.
It looks like a stethoscope.
Yeah. It looks like a weird doctor.
And again, you've got Andy Garcia's character. He's schmoozing with the staff,
air hostesses.
Yeah, giving them all these. I think he's giving everyone his hotel name and room number or something. I know he does it later on in the bar.
He does that afterwards. He says, "Yeah, for a good time, come over here." Yeah, that was nice. But also, what I liked was the great scene that reminded me of. I think it was Commando. Where basically he punches Sato Sato.
He pretends to stretch and just elbows him in the face.
Oh, and it's a full-on punch. It's a good one. He starts yawning and just goes smash. Only set up by he's only allowed to do that because beforehand Sato keeps staring at him.
Well, he's trying to play solitaire with his cards.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple of there's a scene before that where he is just staring at him. He's like, "What the hell are you?"
He's a very starey bad guy.
That's
all you needed. You needed the stare.
Yeah, he's got intensity in those eyes. He's pissed off.
Certainly does.
Yeah, and then obviously Nick. Michael Douglas gets annoyed that he's losing at solitaire, and he gets
he's a bad loser at cards.
He's a bad loser. Yeah. He just full on smashes him in the face. And then when Charlie comes back like, oh,
what happened to him?
What's this?
I think he bit his lip.
Fantastic. Yeah, exactly. And that's the same. That reminded me so much of the Schwarzenegger bit where he breaks someone's neck on the plane, puts the hat on him, like, excuse me, don't disturb him. He's dead tired. Yeah, fantastic. Like, it's one of those good.
There's another bit of a scene. There's another scene which reminded me of Commando as well. Is it Commando where Schwarzenegger? Doesn't he escape by climbing down the wheel before the plane takes off?
Oh, most probably.
And there's a scene similar. That's later on where he goes into dumbwaiter and goes down into the belly of the plane and then manages to just walk out.
I don't know if that's a thing, but yeah, maybe it is. Maybe
in this movie.
Oh, I know in this movie, but I mean in real life.
Oh yeah, that's what I was.
Can you access the lower deck via a fridge? I'm not really too sure because that's where the shot.
You can on Ryanair.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, they are one and the same.
Yeah, one and the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, just open the fridge door straight outside and run it.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It ticked all the 80s action boxes, didn't it? We had meat lockers, planes, traffic jams.
You had to see, it had all the locations you'd want. It's got a plane, it's got sunsets, there's the meat locker, there's the mood in the rain.
Yeah.
All in the first 15 minutes, maybe?
Yeah.
So it's gone in heavy.
Oh god, yeah, no, we haven't. Yeah.
We haven't even got to like the real plot.
15-20 minutes in, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we haven't even got to Japan yet.
Well, they do.
Yeah,
They do.
They land, and there's a great little plot, such a simple plot point where the police come to take away Sato.
Yeah.
And it's not them.
No.
But they have no idea because they don't speak Japanese.
It's
I thought that was
fantastic.
brilliant. They just hand him a form and he's like, yeah, that looks seems
just
legit.
Just waves a bit of paper in his face and goes,
Even gets him to sign it.
Yeah. And then what I like the best bit was when they do it, or they just hand him over. And then the other guy's like, key please. but he's going like that with his arms, like to demonstrate why he need, like, my hands are in key cuffs, you know. But it's kind of even like cheekier, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because police would have had a key for the cuffs. Or
possibly, because it's a different continent. They might have a special type of key.
Maybe they'll have the same supply.
Maybe it's like plug sockets are different.
Well, we're not fact checking. Nobody gives a shit. But either way, yeah, they give him the keys. They give him the prisoner. And
they go to the other exit on the plane, and the real police are there.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a good job they didn't. Well, it's a bad job they went to that exit.
Well, yeah, but if you think about it as well, basically the real police basically just stood there and let the entire plane disembark.
Yeah.
And then we're going to go on for the villain or whatever.
They would have seen
Whereas
him leave
the
the
other
plane.
cops were on straight off. They're like, give us the guy, and it's a bit like, what would have been realistic?
Yeah, convenient bit of timing on everyone's behalf there.
Yeah,
I feel.
Well, of course, it's plot has to move forward somehow, doesn't it?
So that sets up the rest of the film where Nick and Charlie, they have to stay in. I assume it's Tokyo, is it?
I don't think
Osaka?
This,
Japan.
Well, yes, it's somewhere within the region of Japan. I don't think there's ever a like a little subtitle like New York, Japan, whatever.
No.
There's no.
It will have been mentioned at some point during the movie. I just can't remember exactly where it is.
Well, no, yeah, I don't think it's. I think the thing there is as well. It's not integral to the plot, is it? Really?
No. You just know they're a fish out of water detective duo.
Sound.
And that's pretty much the rest of the movie.
Yeah. Which is good. Which is nice. Nice. I like that.
But yeah, so they're there to stay until they can put the cuffs back on Sato. And investigations conduct. Yeah. I can't actually remember now where they go straight from there.
Well, from that point, it was something to do with. It felt a bit shifty to me. I can't remember whether I wrote it down as a. This is definitely what happened, or is this going on? But I was like, it feels like the Japanese cops were covering something up at that point as well. Because basically, when they gave him the wrong guy, but they won't let Nick and Charlie involved. They won't let him in now.
Yeah, they don't want him to be involved.
They want to try and go after him, and they're like, no, you've got no jurisdiction here. You're not police. You can't have a gun. You can't do this.
That's right. They take their guns away.
Yeah.
They pretty much put them on just babysitting duty.
Yeah, which is when they then get partnered up with, oh my god, what's his name?
Masimoto.
He's
Masimoto. He's one of my favourite sidekick characters.
I think he's great.
He's great.
Film. I love this.
I love
guy.
that they called him Mass.
Yeah.
Hey, Mass, come over here.
And
every time they say it, he's just like. Oh.
Yeah, I'm sure he didn't like it.
Yeah.
I don't think he would, but he doesn't like him anyway from the get go, because he's like, you guys are disrespectful. You basically you're renegades, and here in Japan we do everything by the book. You don't fit. You're the fish out of water in my pond.
He's disciplined, and they're
exactly.
cocky Americans.
And what I love is throughout the film, you see some development with his character, but he tends to maintain this facade of not liking their processes. You can always tell he's got this slight disgust on his face when they're doing something like tearing the place apart, and he's a bit like, oh,
or just even the way they're walking around, or
but he's I think he's great in it, and probably one of the better actors in the film.
It's subtle. Yeah, but it's perfect. It complements the other two characters well.
Yeah, no, he's great. Yeah, it cuts through their pally, light-hearted kind of dynamic, and it gives a bit more of a serious nature.
In a film that didn't really need a third character.
No, it didn't. Yeah, it probably didn't need any other characters than Michael Douglas's character, realistically. I mean, he didn't need a partner. He didn't need.
Yeah.
I mean,
when they set him up as being like a bit of a loner and a bit of a rogue, but then he does get lumbered with people. I think that's.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
But they don't. But again, I like that, because you tend to get. if the film does dwell on that, he's a lone wolf. He plays by his own. They end up doing that all the way through the film.
Yeah, it's always
all you hear about.
He begrudgingly doesn't want the person he's put with,
Yeah,
and then by the end they're friends. It's the same story every time.
That's what the film's about. The film's not about catching the murderer. It's about how the cop can now have a partner and like it. Because his last one died and he can't open up. God damn it! You know, it's always the same sort of thing. But whereas with this, Michael Douglas's character, yeah, you can see he's got the obvious flaws, but they don't really hammer on about it. He's not made out to be the worst. You know, he doesn't go blowing shit up every 20 seconds.
No.
He is John McClane. He is not. But you know, I think they do set it up quite obviously, his character, but they do it enough so that they don't need to go on about it.
Yeah, I think he's a more realistic version of a movie stereotype.
Yeah, exactly.
Where he's not too over the top. He's like, okay, that's a believable trait. He would have some friends and he would be acceptable.
Yeah, he's a good middle ground, isn't he? Yeah.
I have got down here that it is Osaka police.
Oh, it is Osaka police. Okay.
I think we might have skipped over a little bit where they get called in because one of the fake policemen who was on the plane
gets caught.
It turns up murdered with a $100 bill in his mouth.
Oh God, yeah, it was a sock and $100 bill. Yeah. What an evening.
It very much reminded me of Seven.
Yeah, a little bit.
Because it was very moody with the low light and the rain. And
that's where I've got that though. That's it. The Japanese cops are covering up because they bring this guy in and then that's it. They won't have him on the case. They're like, no, you've got to get out of here. We don't want anything to do with you, and that's why they saddle him up with a Japanese partner to keep tabs on them. That scene is they go to that crime scene, don't they? Is it in a club?
I can't remember exactly where.
I think it must be because I've got here that they're at the crime scene and they meet Joyce, played by Katie Capshaw, the only white female with her bosoms out predominantly in the film, I think. Who does a few lines. I think they took a few lines her way.
Yeah, she's like she's the love interest kind of character, kind of the what would you I don't know what would you call that?
The only woman in the film.
That archetype. Yeah.
She's that's what I would call it. The only woman in the film.
She's like their source of information almost. She's
kind of. Yeah, she's kind of his in terms of she works at a club. So she's got the in terms of who's coming and going, all the big names, because obviously she works at the big club, where everyone goes on a Friday night, Saturday night.
Even Matsumoto, who sat there with his cocktail. Oh. I love that he was just perched at the end of the bar.
Is that the next one? I guess it is. Oh no, they must have gone. Oh yeah. So because they end up at that club again.
Yeah, they go there twice, I think.
Yeah, I guess they must not be connected, but he does meet Joyce there because I've got that in that part.
She says to him, "Go see that woman over there. Go give her $50 or yen or whatever. Yeah, and just go where she takes you."
Oh, that's it. Yeah, okay. Because there's a bit there where they're out walking after that, and then they get cornered by the bike gang.
That's right. That was a really good scene.
I liked it because it wasn't. Nothing happened. They weren't exactly harassed. They just displayed that they had bikes and flags. And I love those cute little flags.
Just did donuts around them.
Yeah, it was really nice. I've got down here world's cutest bike gang. Because they seem so polite. They basically came, displayed their little flags, and did a little donut around them and sort of went, bye-bye then, and then just went.
What we should do is we should... if we ever get the time and can remember, we should take that scene and redub the audio with just push bikes and ding ding bells.
Yes, okay, I'm up for that.
But when I watched that, I thought that long kind of high street they're going down, that's a perfect bit of location scouting. I thought that is perfect for the scene that he did. I do wonder if he was like, okay, when they were out there, I assume it was all shot on location.
Well, this is the thing, and we keep coming back to it. You saying everything looks like it's shot on location. It will be.
It will. It will have been.
I mean, this is before they would just CG in everything, and it would just be Michael Douglas in a room, and he wouldn't even be a Japanese guy. It'd be a lamp rack with a green bit of face on it. CGI'd in afterwards.
But my thing is that scene especially. They had a lot of neon signs outside each building. I wonder if any of them were placed there by the studio, or it was just. This is the street. We found it. It's perfect. Let's do this scene.
Well, there's that. I mean, obviously there is going to be a bit of whatever you call it, set dressing or whatever.
But one of the things I wrote down was I'd love to see a making of it, just to see.
Oh yeah, just all the things they changed or where they've done it. But yeah, I mean, again, and I think this is the thing with it being a Ridley Scott. You can tell all of these scenes, and they're all set up so beautifully. Like I say, the lighting in these little things, like just this little encounter with the bike gang. It's all these elements of. You can see where he's going with his thought processes, and how maybe when you watch some of his later films you can see where he was going, because again you've always got this Asian infusion that kind of, especially with this one, I actually thought before I watched it, I didn't realise it wasn't set in the future. For some reason, I thought it was when you told me about it.
Yeah, because he looks like it was set in the future.
But they achieved that with oh god, what do you want to call it?
Just the aesthetic of it, I suppose.
Yeah, the aesthetics. They don't do it by showing you hovering cars or anything like that. I mean, everything is old school 80s vehicles and yada yada. But there is something about it, the soundtrack, or the.
I think just being set in Japan, it's neo noir, isn't it? It's kind of it's Blade Runner-y
it
almost.
Almost stimulates that kind of thing, doesn't it? Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think it looked great. All of those.
It's one of them occasions where the past looks like the future.
Yeah. And then somehow, what is it after that? It's the next day after they've been out, and they just go into the police station then, and they sort of stow away on a SWAT mission.
Yeah, because they've got a tip off of his Sado's location.
Yeah.
But Masamoto's basically babysitting those two, and he's been told
to keep them under control.
Keep them away, give them some paperwork, push some pencils around till they basically go home.
Yeah.
But Charlie spots them out the corner of his eye,
they end up just
gathering sledgehammers and shotguns. He's like, "Hey, what's going on over here?"
It is a very interesting point. Is why do the policemen need hammers? What's happening here?
And couldn't he have just shut the door so he couldn't? I suppose it's for breaking down doors with sledgehammers.
Well, of course, yeah.
That was a great bit where they just run on and like, "Hey, no, it's a training day. Come on."
Yeah, exactly. They just jump on and pull him in.
Yeah,
you can't complain. Come on, we're doing this.
He's just being pulled around like the begrudged babysitter who has to go with them even though he doesn't want to.
Yeah, and I think that was a great little bit for me as well. Is that again, if you look at Douglas and Garcia in that scene, and obviously for the characters anyway, it's a little bit of, you see they're really happy when they're doing it. When they're being naughty and they're getting on and they're both really smiley. Like, I don't know if they can't help it or whatever, but I just think that's another nice little nod to their friendship in the film. And I guess obviously it does build to that point because it becomes quite a significant point that they're good friends, really, doesn't it?
And that Andy Garcia is just pretty much friendly to everyone.
Yeah,
because I think soon after this is the scene in the bar again, where Masamoto gets brought in.
Yes,
called over, should I say?
I had a massive thing about this because the introduction shot or whatever, the soundtrack, unfortunately, is UB40.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, doing a Temptations song.
Wow,
which I used to like that song, but it just that was the only thing for me that felt a bit. I mean, I guess it was time appropriate, wasn't it? Because it would have been popular, or whatever. That was the only bit that sort of jarred me, and I went, "Oh, that's I think maybe my one negative so far. I don't know if I've got any more than that."
I have a few, but I'll go through them at the end.
Oh, we'll get to that at the end. But as far as I can think, that's probably my only one.
Actually, there is one negative I want to point out at this point. Is Andy Garcia's chest hair. I don't know if you noticed because he gives he's tied to Masamoto as like a.
That was nice. That was beautiful bonding.
Yeah, a little symbol of friendship and I respect you. And he's like, I like you. You're a good guy.
I like you, but not him. He's a dick.
But his shirt's a little open. It's like, oh, blimey! It's like Robin Williams' wrist. It's just.
Oh God!
Very, very hairy.
That's too vivid a picture for me.
Yeah,
right there. That's good.
And he tries to break his reserve spirit by getting him up to sing karaoke, and he does a duet with him, and it's a really nice scene.
Yeah, and especially the fact that he's doing Ray Charles, and he gives him the sunglasses and makes him actually try and do a Ray Charles impression, which was a bit But that was nice because then in that point that broke up, didn't it? Because you had basically Michael Douglas's character and. Machido, they don't get on,
Yeah.
So he ends up leaving kind of in a huff because he won't have a drink with them or whatever. He won't relax enough for Nick.
I think this might be past the point where that's coming later actually, where he tells him that he dishonoured his friend.
No, that's right at the end of the film. It's just this point is like he's not loose enough for I'm going to call him Nick because it's just easy. He's not loose enough for Nick, and then. He basically walks off to go and talk to Joyce.
Yes.
He goes to go and plough her for information, which is actually all that does happen in this film. I quite like that. Just to point that out, there's no gratuitous. There's no need for sex scenes in it.
And coming off of watching Mute and talking about the future, again, this isn't the future.
Yeah.
But I suppose it's not the future. But yeah, you expect it to be sleazy because of the lighting and the kind of the mood of the film.
Yeah.
You expect like at least one temptress to turn up and.
Well, especially in the bar that they're in. I mean, obviously it's quite a thing in Asia anyway to have like women daunting over the men in booths. I mean, it's not implied that they're hookers of any means, but you kind of get that aspect from this club. It is a fun time Charlie kind of club.
And if Andy Garcia turned up in his prime, he's probably going to be the guy we're going to want to sit with.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I like that. And for an 80s action movie, there wasn't any need for that either.
There was no explicit tits for no reason there.
Had there been any violence at this point since the first shootout?
I mean, obviously he gets into the fight with Sato and punches him about a bit, but
yeah, I mean, since then, it's not. I think up until this point, there's not been too much action, but I wasn't bored yet.
No, because I guess there was really enough going on with all these new people.
Every scene I found seemed like
there was something going on, wasn't there?
Yeah, it was necessary. There was no fluff.
No. But then, so what happened then?
I think after this is where they are.
Because they reunite, don't they? That's it. Is that
I think it's the next day.
Charlie's does the karaoke. And then Nick's talking to Joyce, but they do come as he's talking to Joyce. She tells him about who I had no idea. It's just this random guy gets bundled out. Like he's obviously a big shot. He's got the glasses on, and that turns out being the main guy that's opposite Sato. What is his name? Sugai.
I didn't write that name down.
Yeah, I did. It took me ages to find it just then. But yeah, you don't know who this character is, but they do a long, lingering shot of this guy's going to be fucking relevant. That's why I've got that down, because sometimes in a film it's like okay, but you can be like, but why? Why are you just showing me this old guy? I've got no idea, because he wasn't involved in the scene earlier, where the guy got the thing stolen, so I didn't know who the hell he was. But then he gets led out of the club, and then cut to the next morning kind of thing.
And it's the next morning. They're walking through. They're walking through some sort of building, which is
I thought it was like a shopping centre. Yeah.
And this is where they get taunted by one of the motorcycle gang who comes in.
But this is because Charlie's a tit again.
Yeah, he's being a playful child. Yeah. And starts doing his ball cape with his jacket.
Yeah, because that's a callback to the start of the film.
Yeah, it's what he does with guys on motorcycles.
Yeah, apparently.
A fun thing he does in traffic.
He tries to injure people on motorcycles by pretending to be a matador.
Yeah, which backfires because the guy on the bike steals
nicks his coat.
Nicks his coat.
Which I thought was brilliant.
Yeah.
Straight away, I think I laughed quite hard.
He did deserve his coat to be stolen.
Of course he did, yeah.
But it was all a ploy. It was all a ploy to lead him away underground.
And what I like about it as well is the fact that he couldn't let it go either.
No.
It wasn't just a coat.
He was genuinely getting angrier. Believably so.
He spat on his coat as well.
Did, and then threw it in the puddle.
He did. He did. But no, before that, like, the reason for the pursuit was, it wasn't just like, Charlie, let the coat go. It was like, no, it's got my passport in it. Oh, right, okay, so you actually need the coat.
You need the coat back, yeah.
So he's going to go get the coat. Cool. But then, it ends up being a trap.
It's a trap.
Oh.
Michael Douglas hadn't followed him, so he couldn't... He goes around a different way, so he only sees what happens from behind the shutter.
Like about four paces too slow, isn't he? Kind of thing, and gets locked out with the iron grid shutter. Yeah, and he gets bullied, doesn't he, Charlie? Really?
He does. He does. He gets. It's not a jaunty bike gang this time, though.
No, the world's cutest bike gang has gone down in my estimation. They're dickheads with flags now.
Yeah.
At this point in the film,
flags and knives.
Yeah, flags and knives.
So I think he gets stabbed. He gets stabbed once in the chest.
Or he gets cut up a bit. Like they do the whole weaving around on bikes, and they're all going like, the little tiny cuts. And then he does get quite a main stab.
He gets a main stab, but he doesn't try to run away.
No, he just kind of stands in the middle like a bit.
I think he started. Did he taunt at one point?
Well, he keeps waving his coat about, doesn't he? Which is basically how he starts getting stabbed.
But yeah, then the scene comes that I actually didn't expect this to happen. I know it's and spoilers.
Obviously, spoilers.
You expect the young.
We've told you the whole plot of the film, so spoilers.
Yeah, exactly. You expect the young, laddish character to meet a demise, but I didn't. Honestly, didn't expect him to get killed,
wasn't it? Because it's at that point that Sato turns up.
He's looking back at Nick like,
he's making some fierce eye contact. Yeah.
And he gets decapitated.
He does, because he's got a sodding samurai sword.
Yeah, little samurai sword, and
just
cuts his head off. Yeah. I really didn't see it coming, and
neither did Charlie.
No. Well, he would have done because he was facing him, but yeah. I felt like that's a kind of a plot point that happens in all those movies, Like the cocky sidekick always gets killed,
Yeah, pretty much.
and then revenge ensues. But
Well, for me, he had a 50-50 shot. He was either going to be the guy that screwed him over at the end, or he was going to die.
yeah,
Because that tends to what happened is the best.
or he'll
friend
get kidnapped and have to be rescued.
Yeah. But it's one of those scenarios. There's not usually a friendship that lasts throughout a film, and it isn't thwarted by kung fu treachery.
It does happen.
Yeah, well, apparently. But I love that. I love that little scene because obviously Douglas is kind of trapped behind this cage,
Shutter, yeah.
watching him, and then it's at this point in the film that I really started seeing the Ridley Scott in the film. I think because then it pans back and he's got it's just an establishing shot of that. It's him from the outside and then I guess kind of backlit, and it just pans out. And it's kind of this big silhouette around him kind of thing,
yeah,
as if they spotlighted him kind of thing, and him giving it the old anguish, and then that turns into this establishing shot of a bridge where he stood with who I didn't realise until it pans right and is just some random homeless guy. But he sort of stood there giving it the old contemplative, moody Batman staring off the edge of into the abyss kind of thing, and I thought that was a gorgeous shot, and it's only like a 2 or 3 second shot, and it has no relevance in the film apart from Joyce then approaches him. I don't know how Joyce finds him at this bridge or whatever.
One American guy in Tokyo.
Exactly. He's over here. Yeah, pays the homeless guy because obviously he's got no clue. He doesn't know why the homeless guy is there. And he says something to her, who's a fluent speaker of Japanese, and goes, "Oh yeah, he's a coin bugger off." And then she takes him off, doesn't she, to her apartment or wherever it is.
Yeah.
But again, it's this transition from the metal grid onto the bridge, and then the establishing shot of her apartment is the most Ridley Scott bit in the film for me, because again, it's this inside of the kind of like Blade Runner-y apartment, the big blinds in the background.
Everything's got a big fan in it.
Yeah, exactly. Big fan, big silhouette of the moon or whatever the hell it is behind there, and he's smooth. Foreground is pitch black. He's smoking the cigarette.
Yeah.
And it was very.
Ridley Scott loves people behind tables smoking.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, pensively so as well.
And he loves things being wet as well. I noticed there's a shot where I think it's like a street cleaner's going past, but he just pans on the sprayers spraying the ground.
Yeah.
And that's such a Ridley Scott thing to do. He loves to see those mechanical things at work.
Yeah.
'Cause it does make it feel like an organic setting. It's like, okay, things are actually going on. People are doing lives are progressing.
Yeah.
In the environment we're watching.
Yeah, exactly. And again, you can see this connection with the technology. I mean, especially coming into the sort of climax of the film where it's shot and stuff. You can see that industrial kind of thing coming through. But again, for me, that just little panning in scene of Nick having a fag kind of thing, I think it was gorgeous. That was when I went, oh yeah, no, like this whole film basically is Blade Runner, but without being in the future. To me, this was kind of his. Yeah, we made the detective film. And
it's setting up the detective as it's everything you assumed he was at the beginning.
Yeah.
It's a setup for what actually that is what he sort of becomes.
It's kind of like this first whatever it is, hour and 16 minutes or so going in has been really to establish his character. Now he's lost his friend. Now he's the broken. Fuck it, I'm going to do whatever I need to take this guy down. And
he's no longer there for the reasons that he was, which was because he couldn't go back without him.
Yeah,
because he hadn't
got.
Does he needed to get paid? Does he even get a bonus from it? I can't remember. He was mentioning his life back home, like he's got bills to pay.
Yeah.
So I had the impression that he needed to go back, or maybe it was curtains for him. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I don't know. It's again, I don't know whether there was maybe some sort of a B plot there that wasn't really
didn't need to be there.
No, that wasn't there, but wasn't realised or wasn't even put into effect. Something that they might have hinted at.
There's enough of it to make me think now he's changed his motivation.
Well, again, I think the main motivation, isn't it, is that when they first get there, he gets away. So, like, no, we've got to get this guy. But then, after that, now it's personal, isn't it? Because he's killed the guy. So, yeah, his motivation is changed from being a professional, I need to get this done, to, well, now I need to kill this guy. Well, yeah, and now I need to kill this guy. I think he does say, I'm going to get him,
I feel like it was more justified in this film than most action movies.
Yeah. And then, but what I don't understand is, so we're at Joyce's apartment, and then Masahiro just turns up. He's just there at the door. He just arrives there to say I'm sorry, to offer condolence.
Oh, that's right.
About Nick, about Charlie. But I don't know how he knows whether maybe Joyce called him. Maybe
they're at they might be at his apartment.
Oh, at Douglas's apartment.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I couldn't tell though, because I would have thought Douglas would have been in a hotel kind of thing. Whereas this place is a full-on apartment, but in the 80s and on a policeman's budget. Yeah, sure, why not? Yeah. Get the studio
Again,
apartment.
expenses.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, and he brings him a. He basically says he can have one possession.
He brings him.
It's like a gift box of his friend's possession. It's
all his
Charlie's possessions.
It's his personal artifacts. Which he's got. Yeah, his passport, his police badge, his
book he's been reading.
Yeah. And he lets him choose one, doesn't he?
Yeah. So Masamoto gives him his badge.
Nick. Yeah, bloody hell. It's so hard to go from characters back in. Well, I say screw it, because I don't know the actor's name, so I feel weird saying Masimoto and then Michael Douglas. But we'll keep for Masahiro anyway. But so Douglas gives him Charlie's old badge.
Yep.
Which is like a nice gesture, because obviously they'd done the bonding with the karaoke. They were close, giving him a tie.
Yeah.
Giving him a tie. And so that was a nice moment.
And then Nick's like, so I can keep anything I want.
Yeah.
And he's got Charlie's gun.
Yeah.
So he's basically getting the rights back to use his firearm
and then
again.
it's Masaharo's silent consenting. Yes, you can have anything you want. So as he's waving the gun, like, yes, you can. Have, all right, take the gun.
Here's the bullets.
There you go. And then what do they do then? They go looking for Sato, don't they?
Yeah, I think the next scene is, I can't remember how it connects, but they manage to get to the they're at the steel plant.
There's a scene before that.
Is there a scene before that?
There's loads of scenes before that.
Wow,
yeah.
I must have missed a bit out.
Well, somehow, so they're trying to figure out, I don't know, what this connection with
Sato.
Sato.
They're having a aren't they? They're having a stakeout in their car, aren't they? And they're
No, not that bit. I think that's a little bit late. We've got loads to go through. So basically, they go to someone's apartment. They go to Sato's apartment or someone's apartment.
Oh yes, and this is where he flips out. Yeah,
there you go.
He really goes for it.
Man,
Every time you think he's finished, he's like, no, I'm going to do some more acting now.
He turned on the Nick Cage for that one, didn't he?
That's right.
He really does.
They completely. It's the warehouse or the apartment where they find. Is it where they find the dead cop?
Maybe it is. Yeah, it's the original crime scene.
Yeah, because there was no evidence found, and he was like, "There's always something left behind."
Yeah, so he's tearing the crap.
Yeah, and that's where they go to the big warehouse with the big awesome fans, and he basically does. You ever watch Funhouse? Was it Funhouse? They were Finders Keepers on ITV, where they bring kids with ADHD in, and they'd smash the shit out of a room. Michael Douglas basically does that for 5 minutes, whilst Masamoto just looks around like, "I'll clean this up."
Yeah, this is what I mean. This is what I loved about his character at this point, and he's kind of giving him an out because he's like, well, he's just lost his friend in that. But every time he pulls a bit of paper off the shelf, you can see him being like, oh no,
Get the broom.
Yeah, like that's not how we should do this.
And eventually, he finds sequins.
He finds some sequins on the coffee table after that whole deflated.
They were there the whole time.
Christ.
I mean, maybe they flew out from all the trashing.
Maybe. But
Probably not.
I didn't figure out there were sequins for a good minute or two.
But
I was like, well, they're Chinese. Yeah, until he goes,
sequins.
Yeah. I was like, oh, thank you,
Plot convenient. Sequin number 1.
Thank you, Sir Douglas. I wouldn't have got there on my own.
Sir Douglas.
Is he not? I don't know.
And the massive Emoto.
So he loses his shit, sees that, and then they go.
I think this is when
they get in the car.
This is when they're staking out, and they know who to follow.
This is the whole driving cop talk. Talking. Like, oh, you're gonna be all right. You're gonna.
That's when he tells him he needs to just. He mentions his balls, doesn't he? They're in the car.
Yeah, he says something about needing balls. Or having balls. And it's a classic missed in translation.
And he goes, balls?
Balls.
Oh, okay.
But I did like that bit, the stereotypical driving around in the night cop thing. But what I like is a big thing they had in this film a lot was the big trucks or lorries.
The big neon trucks.
The big neon trucks.
They were awesome.
And they basically did. They formed a backdrop.
Yeah.
There was like a line of them behind their
it's pitch
car.
black dark. And even the roads were kind of semi-lit up with this. I'd never seen like a Japanese road before. But it was like something from like a stage setting almost.
But this is what I love about the film, because I started noticing at this point. There's not too many day to night. It basically starts off with your sunset coming to daytime. And as at this point in the film, you're actually starting to go. The sun's going down.
Yeah.
And then obviously the climax of the film is at night. So I like that when it does that. I mean, obviously I know it's spun over about 4 or 5 days, but for me it feels like when you've got that, we've seen it the whole journey out from day to night. You've been there like a 24. Kind of, you see the whole experience of their daytime kind of thing. I love that because he's taken every opportunity for lighting or injecting a bit more atmosphere into it in every scene.
Oh yeah, every scene is 100% effort of how can we make this look better. There's nothing lazy about any.
No, it's gorgeously
any scene
made.
in that
It's
film.
gorgeously made. And then so they're looking for the source of the sequins, then, aren't they?
Yeah.
But what I don't understand is, so they're staking her out, and before we even get to any detail of them staking out, they kind of know who this woman is straight away. How?
Yeah, that bit was lost to me as well.
I think it's like, hey, she's got sequins on, and that was it. That's how they. I don't know.
That's the one bit that reminded me of Blade Runner, because in Blade Runner he finds a snake scale, I think.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, there's a woman who's got a snake.
Yeah.
So we'll go to her.
But at least that kind of makes a bit of sense. It's a bit harder to narrow that down.
Yes.
In a city full of sequins, that Osaka is the twinkling jewel. But
I'll happily glance over that.
Fact check that bit.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how. Because I was assuming at that point it was going to be Joyce. I was assuming it was going to be.
Well, in my head, thinking back, and I only watched this yesterday, I had it in my head that it was her.
No,
but I'm guessing it's not.
No, because again, it's all these points where in usual films they would turn around and go, "Oh, the character betrayed." They didn't do that with this film, which I quite like in many instances. But I thought it was ultimately going to be her. But I think obviously the connection is assumed between Douglas and her, that she's told him, look out for this one, she's a shifty bugger, kind of thing. And that's where they start staking her out in the car, and again, gorgeous shots coming down of just the light coming off the side of the Cadillac. Oh God, I was in love with this film.
I really like that almost every chasing shot of beside a car.
Yeah.
The camera would always be behind about 18 things. Yeah. So you go through a building, past some pillars.
You see it for about 4 minutes. And then come back out. Yeah.
It might not still be there, but at the end of it.
No, I love that. But yeah, they're waiting for this woman in the car, and then again, it's another one of these stereotypical things in my mind. It's the safe deposit box scene.
Yes, that was such an 80s, 90s staple. Do they exist in this country, safe deposit boxes?
Well, they might do. I'm not rich enough to put anything in one, son, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, that's right, because she goes in and she changes her clothes, puts on a big overcoat.
Yeah, which I quite liked, because I was like, oh, it's just she's getting changed as well. All right, fine.
So that was your one little bit of sauce, which is in a bit of a skimpy dress. But you don't see anything.
I think you might see, is it lingerie? Maybe, oh God knows. But even if you do, it's a 2-second flash, and it is to illustrate that she's changing her clothes. It's not a pervy.
It's not gratuitous in any way. It's necessary.
But I like that, because it was the whole. It wasn't just that she was going to get the ancient watch or the bag of money or whatever the hell's in this safe deposit box. Yeah,
I can't remember what was in there either. Was it the plates?
Again, it was another. Yeah, it's the plate. Well, we don't know, but it's the plates. Yeah. So basically, that ends up happening. She gets changed and she legs it, but as that's happening, they see her running out and they call a taxi and they're off to chase her.
Yeah.
But then they see the guy that killed Charlie.
That's right. Yeah, he's crossing the road.
Yeah. And so he's the guy that killed Charlie. So they follow him and they realise that he's
going to a place for a reason.
Yeah. Well, they call him. That's the handover. She's giving it to him. Yeah.
That's the switch.
Yeah, that's the switch. Yeah. So then they take the taxi to this industrial plant,
which is, I think, might be my favourite scene, just because of the ambiance of that whole place. And that is a Ridley Scott thing. You can hear every camera scene. There's a different sound effect playing in the background, so it's either like a whirling machinery or something beeping or steam or something moving. Because
I really liked it on the lead up, because obviously they have to sort of park the taxi a little bit away to not follow too close or whatever they do. They end up following on foot. But then you've got this scene where I don't know what they are, if they're all workers of the foundry or whatever it is. So just loads of guys with the metal helmet all on little bicycles.
Oh, that was brilliant! Yeah,
it was like a whole fleet of people.
That was
like,
great.
What's going on here?
And my thought of that was they need to raise their seat
because
they're all
low,
way too short. I'm imagining that they all get like a shuttle bus down to one area, and then they cycle to the plant.
Yeah, because whatever this plant is, obviously you're not allowed to have that many vehicles or whatever. I mean, it doesn't need to be a plot point, but I just like this sea of men again in helmets, all wearing the same jumpsuit, like yada yada.
Again, not needed, but just added to the atmosphere.
Yeah, fucking gorgeous. But then, as soon as they've got through that part, and I've got here in big letters on my notes, enter the lair of Sartor. It looks great, because again, the establishing shot again is that whole backlit smoke, and it's nighttime and you have to walk through the smoke, and it feels like D&D. It's great. It's like they're going to go and see
you're approaching the boss fight.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. They find a little health pack and that's it. They go in, they know they're fucked.
You've hit the checkpoint.
Ammo and health pack. Yeah.
It's auto-saved.
Yeah, exactly. But that was great. It was a great little bringing it into there. And obviously, whilst they're making their way in, you've got this scene between... I can never remember the other one's name. So it's Sato and Sugai.
Yeah.
They're having this conversation that obviously he's annoyed with them because the whole plot is now revealed. Because this guy that they've been following turns up with these plates.
I don't think we've even said that it's about counterfeit money yet.
No, because it hasn't really been revealed. The only connection you had is that this guy had the note stuck in his mouth.
Well, no.
And then
earlier on, they burned the money.
See, we forgot about that
Yeah.
scene. Yeah. So Michael Douglas, at some point between Charlie being killed,
it's when they go to. I think it's when they find that dead guy. He steals the evidence.
Oh, he does.
And
that's
and Matsumoto thinks he stole it to spend it.
Yes.
But he's like, no.
It. He stole it to see if it was fake or not.
Yeah, and that's when they have the first bit of a falling out.
That's it.
But he shows him with the commanding officer, no, look, if you burn this, it doesn't burn in the right way, which means it's fake. It's a very good fake, but it's definitely fake.
Yes.
And then
so it has been established that yes, okay, so they're money laundering and it's the plates that they've been after this whole time. And Sugai is not, whatever it is, he's pissed off because the police are involved. Basically, he's like, you've let this get too big, you know. We shouldn't be doing this, and so they're having this whole power struggle argument whilst and he said Nick and Charlie.
Oh, poor Charlie.
Yeah, I know.
Just Nick.
That's it. It is just Nick. No.
He's
Mass.
Let's call him Mass.
Mass has decided he was paying the taxi, didn't he? So
he was
paying the taxi.
A change.
And
to get a receipt.
Nick's forged his way in there into this place, which again, billowing smoke, and it's all. Buckets of molten lead and welding sparks.
It's all incredibly dark in the talking in the conversation room. We'll call it that in the meeting room. But everyone is perfectly lit by something that doesn't seem like it's a studio light.
Yeah, some like ambient lighting.
Yeah, like some molten metal will be coming in through the window and just glowing on the face.
Yeah. But that was that part that I guess But this is the climax of the film. Sure.
No, it's not. See, I thought this would be the climax of the film, but it's not. There's a whole.
Is it?
There's a whole extra climactic part.
Yeah.
So.
God. It's
quite long for an action movie. Was it 2 hours and
Well, I think we might as well have just told people to just watch the film because by the time we finish talking, it will be the length of the film.
Well, yeah. I mean, we have done a full Kevin Smith and gone for over an hour, but no, I think that's fine because we're breaking it down. Then we can get back 2 cents in it. So yeah, basically, Nick is waiting for this conversation to be over because he can't. He's up in the rafters. He doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
He's just an outside observer. He then follows. What's his name again? Sato.
Sato.
He then goes to follow him out. Realizes that he's got bodyguards with him.
Yeah.
He attempts to hide behind the little lorry, isn't it? Something like that.
Little box thing or whatever the hell it is. Yeah.
I can't remember how he gets made. How does he get found out that he's there? Or is this where Mass walks in? He does something. And
I don't think Mass comes in until after it's all kicked off.
No, that's
again,
right. Yeah.
Because he's kind of more implicated that it was his fault. Not his fault. I mean, he gets implicated into it, but I don't think he's ever actually in the factory.
No. It's anyway. Something happens which alerts them to his presence.
I think it's that again. He sees this whoever he is, the nameless biker that killed Charlie, because that's the whole point. Is that he. Unless that happens afterwards, because again, this guy's on a bike again.
There's 2 people on a bike.
Oh, there's 2. What? One's Sato and one's the guy that killed Charlie.
I thought Sato killed Charlie.
Oh, well, Sato did kill Charlie.
Yeah,
so.
the one who taunts him down.
The one who nicked his coat. Sorry,
yeah,
it's him. Yeah.
The coat thief.
But yeah, he's on that. Because I've got a point there because I kind of think I missed it for a split second. It was like he blew him up.
Oh, it's the best. That's one of my points. It's one of the best things I've seen. It's great because it all kicks off. There's gunfires are firing.
Yeah.
Mass comes in and takes out one guy. Nick is in hot pursuit of the other 2. They escape on bikes.
That's it.
Runs out to the main road, shoots one guy through the back,
who
goes straight into a truck and explodes.
Yeah.
And it's just incredible.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Absolutely brilliant.
He got his comeuppance for being a coat stealer.
Yeah.
That's what happens for you. You steal a coat, get shot in the back and blow up.
And there is another scene later on where something blows up, which again was equally as pleasing to me.
You've got to have a couple, haven't you? A couple of explosions. But I love that. So after because then again, inevitably Sato gets away.
He gets away, and Michael Douglas is chasing him up through up to the highway, which in another scene where I thought looked incredibly dangerous because he kind of stands still in traffic and there's a truck right behind him and he's like, whoa, and he has to run away.
He's actually running in front of the. If you watch it,
yeah,
it's like the truck is just only there to be behind him.
Yeah, it's not a camera trick or CG. It's there. If he stops, he's going to go under it.
Yeah, but yeah. I mean, obviously he's in on it.
Yeah, I know. But one of my notes is that it seems terribly unsafe a lot of this movie.
He got brakes. Some things look a lot faster on film. Well, actually, it looks slower on. But anyway.
So after this, Nick gets chastised for breaking the rules again, and they tell him you're going back on the plane. We're sending you home.
Yeah. That's the best part. Sorry, because basically the cops turn up, don't they?
Yeah.
And there's so much crime and blood and guts everywhere, and the only thing that the commanding officer does is go, "I said no guns." Well, he did. He did say no guns. Okay. So that's it. And he's fucked, and he's getting chucked back on a plane. So, he's got to get out.
Well, they kind of arrest him, and I thought, well, he's. I don't know if he's technically off duty without guns, but he's been in, he's killed people. It's like, no, you're going home.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We're not going to arrest you.
Yeah, we could throw you into jail for 2 weeks or whatever, but no. No, you're going to go home now. Free ticket, go on, off you go, on your bike.
But that was brilliant.
So yeah, he's sat on the plane looking all glum. Yeah. He's kind of accepted his fate at this point, but then he sees the coffin going up the conveyor belt.
And like how unfortunate is that he's got the aisle seat.
He's got the aisle seat on the side of the loader,
where his dead friend's coffin is being loaded.
And then this is the bit that made me laugh when he does escape in the fridge.
Yeah, no, that was funny.
So there seems to be a dumb waiter in the kitchen that they must pass cargo up through, but he just runs inside and sits in it.
Yeah, which I thought was brilliant. And then
it was good.
Nearly get squished getting off the plane.
He does.
After that, trying to get through the little door afterwards.
And then he's just on the runway looking a bit bewildered, and then he just legs it. He's like,
yeah, he's off.
Getting out of here. Yeah.
And then
he goes to Masimoto's apartment.
Yeah,
with his incredibly ungrateful son.
See, I didn't know who he was, obviously, until he explains it explicitly. That is my son.
You think so? I'm worthless.
Yeah, exactly. He's very angry now. They probably spelled that one out. But I didn't realise it was him. I thought it was a security guard or his partner. But the best thing is just as soon as Douglas walks in. He's got this horrible look on his face, and he just goes, "Shoes!" Excuse me, what? Shoes!
He just hands them to him.
Yeah,
and then not take them off and put them by the door. Here you go.
He gives them to him. And he's kind of like half making a cup of tea as well. He's like, I've got the kettle. He's like, "Give me your shoes, you dickhead." So I thought that was a
nice
great
little touch.
Yeah. And he basically goes to beg Masahiro for some help, doesn't he? He still wants to take Sato down, basically.
I can't remember if at this point if Masimoto's been has he been laid off from the police?
No, he's not been laid off. He's been demoted.
Demoted.
He basically says something like, "I was lieutenant inspector, and now I'm just inspector," or whatever whatever he says. So that's why his son's pissed.
Yeah,
that's why his son's pissed, because he's helped this foreigner, and it's ruined his career, and obviously it's brought shame on everyone. And
shame. There's a lot of shame.
Shame. That's going to be a good one. Shame.
Ring the shame bell. But yeah, he convinces Master to help him go take down one last outing.
Well, no, he won't. He refuses.
Does he?
He says no. Yeah. He says I'm not going to do it because I've already been demoted. He's got too much to lose, and he's already been demoted.
Oh God, yeah, because he just turns up.
Yeah. Spoilers.
So Nick goes to the.
He goes to Joyce looking to find out about Sagai.
That's right, and he has a meeting with the opposite. Is it who's he have a meeting with? Is it the other?
It's Sagai. It's
Sagai. Is it?
Yeah. So obviously you've got Sato and Sagai, the two guys working together to do the counterfeiting. But obviously they've had a little tiff anyway, haven't they?
Yeah.
At this meeting they've just had.
Yeah, well, I think they're planning on. Yeah, they want to take them out basically.
Well,
so he goes to offer his services, saying,
basically,
"Give me a gun, let me go there. You've got nothing to lose.
Yeah,
only gain."
He turns up at the driving range, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, it is. It's a yeah. I keep missing.
Bits of the
forgetting parts.
You do.
He goes to the golf course. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. And he ends up getting that whole henchman bodyguard thing of being leant over the edge of the drop by his neck, scruff of his neck, and he produces one of these fake dollar bills. And
that's
says,
right.
"Go and give it to him," and then that'll prove what connection I've got. And what I didn't understand though is rather than just having the next scene there, what they did was they took him downstairs and beat him up a little bit, bundled him into a car, and then they take him to Sagai's flat. Oh, sorry, flat. It's much more than a flat. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous apartment.
So at least a
with a huge. Well, it's got a massive fucking fireplace, isn't it? So he's already there giving it the Hugh Hefner. He's got his dressing gown on with nothing underneath, which is always a bit seedy, and his 17 bodyguards around him. And
just chilling.
And then they basically start saying to him, like, we know you're not involved in the... Because he basically tries to pass himself off as someone involved in counterfeiting. And he says, yeah, but the note you gave me is an old crappy note. We know this. Blah, 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 blah. And then they get into it about how he's actually who he is.
Yep.
And why he wants to get after Sato, or why he wants to take him down.
And at this point, is the impression that he'll let him have the counterfeit plates?
I think what he basically says is, he just
wants
he wants Sagai wants Sato out of the picture anyway at this point in the movie. So he says basically, I'm doing you a favour. I'm doing your work for free. You keep your nose clean, and I'll kill him. And it is at this point which one of the best worst lines in the film comes as well, I think. Because it's Sagai starts explaining how, even though it'd be good for him, he doesn't want to do it because he doesn't trust basically the white people. He's like, Americans. He's like, Americans are fucking douchebags. And at this point, I couldn't tell what he says, but he says something about, is it like, is it a bomb or what he's talking about? He says something about something happened. And me and my family, we lived underground for 3 days.
Oh, he tells him a little
story because this is the crux of the whole film. He tells him that, and he says, "Yeah, we had to live underground for 3 days, and the heat brought the rain, but it was black rain. The rain was black." Exact quote.
That is it. Yeah, I do remember that, thinking that's why it's called that.
Yeah, because exactly, of course it is. That was the point where you do the Peter Griffin. Yeah, he said it. He said it. Oh.
It seems like such an odd sentence to base the name of the film on. I can only think that he wanted to call it Black Rain, and he thought he backwards engineered. Okay, well we need a reason.
Yeah, because he's not even the main bad character. But it does though. The story that he tells, as badly as he worked in the words Black Rain. The rain was black.
Rain is black.
He does explain. He's like because of that, whatever it was. It's unclear to me because unfortunately the actor. Could speak English, but it was a little bit hard to understand, and there was no subs for any of the film that I watched, despite there being multiple scenes in Japanese, which I just didn't understand. But yeah, he basically tells the story of how that affected him, how that made him a criminal or whatever, and he says, and that's where we get Sato from. He's like, there's a whole country full of Satos, and they were all made because of you and your government and your bastard ways and yada yada yada. So that's basically him just expressing his hatred for Nick and for America in general, and his not wanting to work with him based on that. But then what happens then? He does agree somehow.
He agrees. He convinces him. He basically says that. It's a no lose gamble for him.
Yeah, he's like, either way, even if I die, it doesn't make a difference to you, does it? Yeah.
But then they take him to Sato's place, throw him a shotgun and some shells, and then they drive off and basically say, right, you go start.
Yeah, exactly.
And if it's all going well, we'll come in.
I love that bit though, because again, some gorgeous shots of, because it's all it's farmland, isn't it? So there's like all the rice fields and stuff. Which seems like it goes back in time slightly from the more futuristic Tokyo setting. You drew a little picture of that.
You drew a little picture.
Because the car's driving up through these lanes of the thing, and again, it's all moody, it's all smoky and foggy and shit like that. So it's pretty good. I really like that. And again, like I say, they give him his +4 shotgun of piercing and a couple of shotgun shells, and I think I counted just in case.
He had 6.
He had 6,
but I'm pretty sure
I didn't count the shots. I forgot.
I think he only fires 4.
I think he only fired it once. I don't think it was actually.
I think he just dropped it.
I just had to. I had to just check, but I think they got around that one by not doing it. And then around 1 hour 40 in, we are here because I made the note. Another lovely shot of the rice terraces and that. He made a lot of. He made his money's worth, didn't he? Really?
Yeah.
Shooting on location, he was like, "Yeah, I'm going to get some great shots in here," and there were some gorgeous ones. And then it starts Nick scrabbling around in the woods.
He's crawling around trying to be not caught by what look like farmers. But then...
Yeah, the bodyguards and farmers that make up whoever is in this farm.
Then out of nowhere, it's Masimoto. He's come in, he takes out the guard.
Yeah.
And he's ready to go.
He's ready to go.
He's had a change of heart. He realises that maybe being a bit like Nick is what's good for him.
Yeah.
Maybe Nick will learn something too about being a bit more like Mass. Yeah.
Or they need each other.
They need,
It's the start of a beautiful friendship. until they both die. No, but
Credits.
Roll credits, end review. But he, what the hell?
So now Nick's got backup.
Yeah,
He's turned up with I think he's got a machine gun. Yes, he has. He's got a brilliant little machine gun.
he's got a little machine gun, and then we've still got Sato and Sugaya having another
they're
little meeting now.
So basically, Sato's disrespect. He's not a respectable character. He's brought shame upon himself, and he has to prove that he's worthy of what he's proposing. So he, for some reason, he has to cut off his finger.
Well, basically, it's one of these traditions, isn't it?
It's
in terms of what do you call it? The Yakuza, the tribe. I wanted to say tribe, but I want to say gang. But yeah, like the Yakuzas or whatever, or even I don't know if it. Do we have to fact check this? It goes back as far as
it's a tradition. It's a rite of passage kind of traditional.
Right, I wouldn't say rite of passage.
No,
everyone had lost a finger there, but it is.
Did you not notice that everyone had no?
Yeah. Nobody in Japan has any finger. But yeah, no, it's a sign of submission and failure, isn't it? It's
a punishment.
It's appeasement, is what it is. Yeah. So he cuts his finger off, which is nice.
Which I didn't see. Yeah, I didn't expect. I must say.
I mean, as I was saying, I expected he was going to knife the guy next to him.
Yeah,
and start a whole.
Yeah. The little sword was going to do some damage, regardless.
Yeah.
But yeah. So he cuts his finger off. Well,
then somehow it's just gunshots are fired.
I think that's when Nick decides to come in. He's like, right, I'm going in. You cover the front.
Yeah, and they burst in. Yeah.
And then there's the other team that are around the bottom because he's got the. I swear it's the guy from Die Hard with the big mustache.
Oh.
He puts his arm around and takes the Babe Ruth and eats it. I swear it's him, and he's got a little silenced Uzi, and he takes out one of the guards by shooting him up through the chin. I thought that was quite cool.
Yeah.
And so he basically runs in all guns blazing.
Yeah. Well, fight ensues, and then inevitably it ends up. Is it another motorbike? Yeah, it's another motorbike.
Yeah, I knew from the first 30 seconds when he's on his motorbike, this is going to end in the motorbike chase.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously
he hasn't been on the motorbike again up to this point, so it's going to be.
Motorbikes have been throughout this film. Yeah. And they go through the muddy farmlands, don't they, and end up tumbling off and having a fight. I did like as well that at this point I thought maybe they've run out a little bit of budget because I noticed a few areas. There's one scene where they first come off the bikes, and it was quite a big tumble, but there's mud on the lens of the camera. Oh. In 2 shots, it's in different places. Oh. And then before they stand up, first they have a little bit of a scuffle, and he's trying to push him on the wheel, which is still going. Yeah, I thought that was quite nice. But I was going to say they take turns in doing that whole thing. Don't they? Yeah.
But there's one scene where after that scuffle kind of breaks and it pans back to Nick. He doesn't look like he's ready to punch anyone. He's got his fists up, but you see there's an extra in the shot. I don't know if you noticed this. He's got his hand on a tree and he kind of backs out the shot like, oh, whoops! Someone must have said action.
Well, that's good then. No, I didn't see that. But I sometimes like those little things. It makes me remember that it's real. Like if you see a bit of water or mud splashed, they can be like, yeah, well, it means they used actual mud and actual water. It's nice. Yeah, it's nice to see that. But that's not going to pull me out too much. I'm all right with those kind of words.
But I did rewind it like, oh, who's that behind him? Is there going to be a ninja? But no, I think it was just a bit of a mistake. But
that's it. But then I think this is the climax of the film, isn't it? It's the fight between the main two characters, and they do this whole trying to kill each other with the motorbike wheel that's still spinning in the background, and it kind of, I don't think it snap cuts, but it shows you he's going to kill him. He's going to kill Sato because he's killed his partner.
They have a punch up, and then he got the upper hand. He's got them in the clinch.
Yeah, he's got the upper hand. He's about to deliver the killing blow, basically.
Because they see there's been a tree which has been, I don't know, well, there's a branch, there's a spike in the ground.
There's a sharp bit, yeah.
And they both look at it like,
one of us is going on there, yeah.
And then they're just back into the police station.
Yeah, but that's the good thing is that I think it does that cut on his face. It's got that I'm gonna kill you, and then the cut is, instead of it being an aftermath, it's him walking Sato down in the police station.
Yeah, he's done what he hadn't planned to do.
His character arc has gone full circle.
Yeah, so he's done what Mas would have done. Yeah. But prior to this, Masamoto's back up at the ranch, wherever it is, having a massive gunfight.
Yeah,
and there's a brilliant bit where he's just outside. He goes proper Scarface style with a machine gun, and just I think it's a car or a truck blows up behind two guys, and they both go whoa, off in separate directions. I love that 80s trash.
It's so good.
And that I think that was shot in slow motion, which didn't feel very Ridley Scott, but it's like, no, we're going to have an explosion. Let's make it last a few more seconds.
Yeah, exactly. But again, it's nice to see again they get that whole thing of Douglas's character has gone from the whole revenge-seeking, renegade wild guard to realising the right thing to do is to get this guy locked up.
Yeah.
So his arc is sealed. He's done his thing. Well, but then again, they still leave it a little bit. Actually, he hasn't gone full circle just yet.
No, not yet. So there's a scene after this where they brought him in and they get it's a little bit like the end of Star Wars. They both get presented with an award, don't they?
Oh yeah, but it's for like that was the shortest scene in the film.
Hands him like a dinner tray. He's like,
yeah, and then they're all around, and so he's got like Joyce or whatever there. And they're all in like suits or whatever.
I don't know why she's there.
Because he was like, "Can you come when I get my award?" But literally, that scene is about 30 seconds, if that, and then it's to the next thing. So I was kind of like, "Well, that was a short party." Like they didn't really, because he's already at the airport.
Yeah, at the airport. He's going back to America.
Yeah,
and they're having a conversation about. No one found the plates to make the money, the counterfeit money.
Plates, yeah. Well, we missed a bit as well.
Did we miss a bit?
I think we did. Well, only in terms of ages ago. When they're doing the stakeout, it's quite a nice little scene. They're eating noodles. Michael Douglas can't use chopsticks. An old woman teaches him to use chopsticks. And he's talking, and he says, "Why are you in trouble in this state?"
Because he took some.
And he tells him, and he says, "But
skims a little off the top."
Yeah, he skims some off the top, and he says, "Well, did you take it?" Then he says, "Yeah," and so then he also says, "But did you tell Charlie?"
Yeah.
And he says, "No,
you disgraced your
you disgraced him. You disgraced you and me. Apparently,
yeah. He takes everything personally.
He's a really personal kind of guy.
Yeah.
But so after this bit, he obviously gives him the grilling, doesn't he? He's like, "Well,
whoever took them plates is going to be set for life."
Where are the plates, Nick? And and he basically says, "Yeah, well."
And Masimoto looks disappointed.
Yeah.
But then.
They do a nice little
a present next.
Pasta parcel.
Yeah, it's like I bought you a present.
No,
they both use the same wrapping paper. Let's not point.
Thank you. That was my number 2. They both use the exact same wrapping paper, which is quite incredible. But that was a nice little bit anyway.
Yeah, it was nice that he bought him a gift, and Masimoto hands him one and goes, "Oh, it's not for you. It's for your kids."
Yes.
And you think he's giving them the plates.
Yeah.
Perhaps he's giving them the plates because he needs money for his
kids.
Yeah. But then. He hands Master a big box.
Do you ever find out what Douglas got?
No, you never find out.
Oh, I bet it was a Toblerone. From Duty Free. That's it. They both got them from Duty Free. They're like, quick.
It wasn't a triangle shape.
It wasn't
a triangle shape.
Maybe it was a Terry's chocolate orange then.
It could have been.
It did, yeah. Anyway.
So, you see Charlie, he's walking away to get his play, and it pans back to Masimoto, and he opens it, and it's a shirt. Then he lifts up the shirts, and it's the plates. And he gives a smile out as if... Yeah, I'm going to be corrupt now.
yeah. But it's a whole. Yeah, that's the other guy's character arc coming to a close, and it's like he's done the right thing for once, and he's happy because he's kind of like he's redeemed his honour in Masimoto's eyes, isn't he?
Yeah.
So he does the brilliant old longing look down the corridor to where Douglas is walking off, and what do we get?
A thumbs up!
80s thumbs up. I loved that. That was brilliant.
It's like when we watched what was the Van Damme film we watched? Oh, it was a Double Impact. Was that it?
Is it Twin Impact? Oh yeah, it is Double Impact.
Whatever one he plays himself twice, and the end shot is where he gives the OK symbol, and then the credits roll.
Oh, fantastic! It feels like it should cut out on like the heat is on, like. But
no, instead we get the starting song again.
Whatever the starting song is again, but in a slightly more somber tone, I think.
So rather than reviewing the film, we've pretty much we've gone through the whole plot.
We've given you the audio book.
We've given you the audio book. Explaining that we pretty much. Like the setting and...
I really liked it. I like... Yeah. Again, you told... Well, no, you told... We were under the impression that it was some kind of sci-fi film going in. Probably just because it was Ridley Scott.
Yeah.
And no, the establishing shots look kind of like it, but with this one, he's managed to still have the whole Blade Runner-y kind of futuristic detective element without having any futuristic element in it whatsoever.
Yeah.
That's just us probably reading into that. But
well, yeah, I think setting it in Tokyo as well, especially at the time, a lot of people probably wouldn't have seen what Japan looks like. Not Tokyo, sorry, Osaka. But so we would have seen like, I don't know how futuristic all that looked, because there's beautiful shots of all the neon billboards, and like there's one of, I think there's like a cowboy.
Yeah.
And that just looked, every time them shots came on, I was in awe.
Well, again, for me, just visually, God knows how many times I said it, all these little varying shots and moody lit things, I thought looked great. I mean, to me, that's a big point of a film is, the story is pretty much chief, but if you can make a boring little pan shot of the two, an establishing shot of two guys in a car, look that nice, then
and like they should be there.
Yeah,
like everything looked like it was. I've said it before, but like a working environment. Like everything looked personal.
Everything had purpose. There was nothing.
Yeah.
There
was no chaff, and there was nothing else was needed.
Yeah, exactly. No, I thought it was great. I mean, overall, solid performances from everybody in that film, I think. I mean, obviously you've still got the 80s element of 80s acting.
Yeah, there was
thumbs up, but
you had to have a little song and number in there in the middle.
Oh, that was
the karaoke scene.
Anything Garcia shouldn't be singing.
He hasn't.
Especially not Ray Charles.
Yes, no, he hasn't evolved that talent very well.
Not just yet.
My main thought about the movie was that it was a film that wasn't perhaps made for Michael Douglas.
Yeah, I get that sense as well. But I think he did it very well.
He did it very well. I don't know if he seemed a little bit, maybe a little bit, not too old, but to be the kind of biker guy, I think it was perhaps ripped. When I started watching it, I thought this was ripped for Kurt Russell.
Yeah,
or Mel Gibson.
Yeah, well, obviously Kurt Russell would have been fantastic in that. But I think at that time, Kurt Russell is still too much of your... He would have been too young in a way.
Well, 89... Well, I don't know how old he is now.
Well, if you think about it, like...
when was Escape from LA? Because that was like, that's the big hair.
No, I'm not sure. The big hair?
Well, he's got the mullet. He's got the big hair similar to Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas. Yeah, exactly. Those two are kind of... you basically could have picked from Michael Douglas...
Mel Gibson.
Because
I thought if it was Mel Gibson, this would just be a Lethal Weapon movie. It's Lethal Weapon Goes to Tokyo.
That's exactly what I thought, yeah.
But no, as it stands, I'm quite glad they didn't put in... It was a bit unexpected for him to be in that kind of movie. Because I don't really see him as that kind of actor.
But again, it's the films you've seen him in, isn't it, really? So,
I suppose so, yeah.
I mean, that's... Again, unfortunately, we just have to watch some more Michael Douglas films now to find out. But
maybe next week, Falling Down.
Oh, of course, Falling Down. I love that film. Let's just talk about that now. It's brilliant.
It is brilliant.
Fucking fantastic.
I remember I had a flu, and it was on about 2 a.m. on Channel 4 or something, and I'd stayed up and watched it. I was like, this is...
so good.
It's made me feel better. Even though it's a depressing movie.
It is, but it's one of those that makes you feel more normal about being who you are. Because it's kind of like that when it is, did you ever have a really bad day? And that's all that film is. But it makes it so accessible to feel like, you know what, I could get to that point where I want to actually kill someone.
And some of the dialogue is, he's an open forum for what everyone thinks now. Because before the internet and all that, we all were thinking, these burgers aren't as big as they are.
Yeah, exactly.
On the picture, and he goes in with he's got the gun. He's like, I want a Whopper or whatever.
But that's the whole point. It's the
everyman's
rant, isn't it?
Yeah.
How much? I can't give you change. All right, how much for a can of Coke? Oh, 50 cents. You know, the whole like.
I mean, Shooting Stars did it better. Not my topic.
I can get this cheaper at Landis.
Go Landis then, not bothered. Anyway, so yeah, probably get back to Black Rain.
Yeah. I thought it was. I would recommend that to anyone.
I'm glad I'd never seen it.
No, me too.
Unexpected gem from 20. How 20? What did I say? It was 98. 80. Sorry, 88.
1989.
1989. So what would that be? 28 years old. Getting on for 29 years old.
Jesus.
Yeah, and it didn't seem. It didn't seem too much like a film from the past.
No. Well, no, that's the thing I was going to say is that a lot of these things can end up feeling a bit dated.
What I thought was they had some pretty big monitors for 1989, because I remember we only had like a little 14-inch one, and it was green like back then.
Yeah.
We didn't get one that size. I suppose it's Japan. It's the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't get one that size until mid-90s maybe. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah. No, I really did as well. I mean, I don't know how to wrap this up other than just gushing over it and saying, Ridley Scott did a fucking awesome job. Again, the cinematography was brilliant. Everyone in it, I think, was really good. Did their fair acting share.
And it's a nice way to remember that Ridley Scott did other films apart from the ones you remember, and that he.
Yeah, I'd never heard of this film before.
No, neither have I. It was just Black Rain, and I honestly thought it was going to be some sort of music video or something.
Fair enough.
Like Purple Rain, but
okay.
Yeah, it kind of made me a little bit sad as well, the way that Ridley Scott's modern movies have gone, because it used to be so much about the practicality and on-set shooting, and then you get Aliens Covenant. And you're like, oh, Ridley.
Well, unfortunately, and you can totally see this, it's like any director that's been around since before CG and is still going, will probably experience this thing where, half of them are going to go, I don't want to use it because I don't want to be that way. Or the other ones are going to embrace it totally.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's a bit of a thing there where, I mean, obviously it's cheaper. Well, I don't know. Actually, it probably isn't cheaper these days to
I know.
to code
I
everything.
know rendering units cost a bomb because somewhere because you get these rendering farms where they process all the CG into 4K or whatever, and I'm sure someone told me that it takes like 24 hours to render like 1 second of Transformers. Something ridiculous. I mean, like per unit.
It takes that long to get through 1 second of Transformers. But
it's how much therapy you need per second.
I mean, there's something to be said for obviously having the old school films with the actual, it exists kind of shit. But the tendency will be for these guys that have got these imaginations that like I can make anything. My wildest dreams can actually come true now because of CGI. So they tend to overuse it because
and you don't have enough time, and then I think maybe people don't realise how expensive it is, and maybe you can't do everything.
I think it's just kind of bad for the. I mean, it's great, but in a way, it makes the industry a little bit lazy because. Well, I mean, this is my opinion. I love. I do like computer gen films like Toy Story, or whatever. They make me laugh. But I don't think it should be used as a staple for effects.
It shouldn't be the go-to. It's like the ready meal.
Yeah.
Make it from scratch. Get the ingredients and cook it. Don't just put it in the microwave.
Before it used to be alright. So we want this 6'7" black shining fucking alien terrifying thing. How are we going to make it? Well, I guess latex and puppets and real fucking shit, and it will show up on film. We're
going to get 2 people to puppet it and lie down in a tube and somehow manage to work it out.
And it will look fucking amazing.
I mean, you watch The Thing now, and that's all puppetry, and it still looks better than anything. Like, you watch a horror film now of a CGI monster.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
But
yeah.
to me, a stop animation or puppeteered horror film or whatever is always going to be far creepier than a CGI.
Or, Jason and the Argonauts.
Oh,
still looks brilliant.
Love it, but all the like wingy things or whatever they are, they look horrible, and it's in a way like and especially what was it, the original Evil Deads?
Yeah,
they had those they had like claymation faces that were just dripping off and stuff, and it looked great. I mean, wasn't Raiders of the Lost Ark or whatever? When they opened the Ark of the Covenant,
when his face melts.
That was stop animation.
Yeah, I think I've watched a making of that.
Yeah,
how they did it. Yeah,
that would have taken them ages. But to me, even though that probably dates a bit now, I still think watching that in a way to me holds up because I go, oh, look at that,
especially like
it's the feeling it evokes, not technically it wouldn't happen like that. No,
especially like is it the beginning of Scanners where they blow that guy's face up reading the news?
Yeah.
And it's a watermelon being blown up with a shotgun.
Yeah.
And it just goes. It's like no, your head wouldn't do that, but it doesn't matter because it looks brilliant.
Awesome.
Yeah,
exactly.
Because it's not something. Because now we see these things every day. I've seen 100 heads blow up, and it's like they're all CGI. Yeah. That melon, I've not seen that melon.
Yeah, exactly, and that was brilliant.
Always has more impact.
Yeah.
I mean, they do use CGI for. I don't mind it if it's not the main focus because I know that apparently they use it a lot to like take the clouds out of the sky.
Okay, but that's fine. That's like that. Okay, that's editing.
Yeah, that's just.
But if you're making Godzilla the focus of your movie and you actually only show his tail every now and again because you can't CGI his body and make it look decent, then maybe don't do it.
I tell you what, I do have what we could use for our next film. Ooh. I've got Shin Godzilla, which is the Toho. Is it Toho? Yeah. It's their latest one, which I think came out around about the same time that the last big CGI Godzilla did. But it's still the bloke in the suit.
Oh, good. Yeah.
And it came out last year or the year before. Yeah, I haven't watched it yet, so
cool. I'm up for that one. That'll be the next one.
Shin Godzilla.
And in the meantime, whether it's running parallel, because we could talk to the two about them. There's that was a terrible sentence.
Yeah.
We can talk about both of them. We can talk to the two about them. Edit. So we can talk about both of those. But anyway, there's what I was trying to say. I haven't even told you what the first thing is to tell you what the second thing is.
Oh, it's not going well, this link, is it? Hang on. Shall we?
Tell me about Godzilla again.
That's the you lose sound effect.
Mate, I'm talking out the arse. But what I was trying to say is, if you want to watch that Godzilla one, there's one on Netflix. There's a animated.
Oh, I think I saw that pop up.
I think it's 2-parter, but we haven't got part 2 just yet. Almost semi-feature length. Not too short. That was quite nice. I like that. I won't tell you any more about that. You watch that.
Okay.
We'll watch the film and we'll talk about that.
And then we'll compare Godzillas.
Yeah.
It'll be a Godzilla room filler.
Mine's bigger than yours.
Okay, so that's Black Rain.
Yeah.
Give it a watch if you never have. You can get it. I think you can get it on Blu-ray.
Or watch it on the internet like I did. But beware, you won't have any Japanese subs if you do that. So yeah, try and purchase a copy.
Yeah, I mean, you can watch it. You can watch it on. You can pay and watch it on YouTube, Google. I'm pretty sure it's on Amazon or something. Yeah, find it if you've ever seen it. It's a golden oldie.
It's a golden oldie from the 80s.
From the 80s, maybe nearly the 90s.
Yeah. The shoes.
You ugly goose.